States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
The meeting will come to order. We do have proof posted in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code amended known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. Any members of the public who wish to speak shall each have 3 minutes. Any members of the public that would like to speak? Were you wanting to address something this morning? Or are you?
They're number 14, good.
Okay. All right. We'll wait and take that up then. Okay. All right, then, if there are no members of the public who wish to speak, we'll go to item number 1, which is to approve the minutes of the February 19th, March 5th, and March 19th, and March 13th meetings.
I just noticed that on the first page of February the 19th, item 2, there were 2 things that were approved. On that first one, I left off all A and motion carried. I'll correct that.
Okay. Didn't notice that.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. For February 19th and March 5th, and March 19th.
And March 13th.
And the regular meetings on March 13th.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried.
Can we go to number 14?
We surely can. Item number 14 is to consider a final plat or replat of tract 1 in the JN Acosta Survey A1 and tract 2 in the MR Fallacious Survey A20.
Judge, they presented the plat, we looked at it, you signed it. We do have a tax certificate, and they're ready to go clerk's office.
All right. Is that a motion to approve?
That's a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carried. All right.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go back up to item number 2, budget transfers and amendments.
We got
Oh,
another
it's
plat.
not.
We got another plat too?
I don't have it.
Oh, I just saw that other plat above that. I didn't know if that, if we wanted, if it was.
He didn't have his
Oh, okay.
tax certificate.
Never mind. Y'all know more about that than I
Yeah, so
just.
when we get to that, we'll just
Okay.
table it to next
All right.
time. Mhm.
I make a motion we approve budget transfers and amendments.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Any opposed? None, motion carried. We also have a certification. Of additional revenue. And amount of $7,025.31. And this is from the Texas Department of Agriculture. We had talked about that before,
We accepted them.
but we didn't actually put the certification in.
Yes, or the amendment, so we've amended it so she can use those funds now.
We have a motion to approve this certification of additional revenue.
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Do you have all three of those?
I have, yes.
Okay. Item number 3 is to approve and pay the bills. Just two sets? Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sending those. You're welcome. Emailing those.
So the reason why it's on there is because it was kind of late coming in that bill, or it would have been put in there.
Make a motion to pay the bill. Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Item number 4 is to approve the payroll.
I make a motion to approve the payroll.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Item number 5 is reports. I have a report from the extension agent. What was done in March and what will be on the programs for April. Also attached is a fundraising banquet notice on April the 5th. Also, Teague Fire Department has a report. Our March call totals 24. Structure fire, 1 vehicle fire, 8 grass fires, 9 MVC. What's an MVC? Collision, okay. Motor vehicle collision and miscellaneous 5 for Teague Fire Department. Freestone Constable Office for Precinct 2. Constable's report. Now, we have a few other reports. But they are under number 11, I believe. I'm gonna bring those back up. If you wanna look out there in number 11 section, it's the Freestone County Investment Interest Earned Report. It's for October the 1st through September the 30th. The spreadsheet is, and you'll see on there that it has the first quarter and the second quarter that are on this sheet. It shows the interest rates for the CDs. We have a 6 administrative time report. Review that. Do we have any other reports?
Where's the majority of the comp time at? Do we have that somewhere in this report?
Yes, it's on these.
I mean, I see you have the hours.
If you look at
We know what
these
departments
attachments
with.
behind it, it's a little sheet. And on each person's, it gives you vacation, I'm looking at one of those sheets, the name and then the sick leave, vacation, comp time, holiday time. That's what's still
So I
available.
guess you just go through there and add them up.
Look at each person's, yeah.
LGS. We approved it. We're going to still discuss it. I think elections, your question, I think elections has a little compound. Who? Elections department.
I haven't got that before. This was the majority. I'm sure. We have another election coming up.
After that, and then I do have a topic, falls under reports on our LG. It goes to the new LGS system, and right now our JPs are using that, turning in, and the basically, if it's not 100% correct, then it's very hard on the auditor's office to balance out. And so the auditor's office would like, it would cost $100 a month to allow them to have a view only into each department that's using the LGS, and it basically is the fines and fees and all that. They can't find a mistake if they don't know what it was.
And the girls, they don't know either. And it's kind of all a learning curve, but at the same time, if they, Hill Country used to, when they would take something out and put it back in, you know, for whatever reason, it would go right back into where it was. If they don't do it correctly, that's one of the things. If they take something out, and it changes the reports, they fail to give us a new report, well, it changes the the McCreary invoices. And there's just so many different things that, and then the state fees, if they don't do everything by business day and they do it by receipt date, because then our state fees don't match our books. So it's just a lot of different things that we're trying to match up versus we had a different system with Hill Country, but we're trying to work with this because, you know, it's what we have. But it would just be helpful for us.
I think they have all offices.
Well, it would, because we could go, like, we could pull that state fee report, we could go in. Now, Mark has helped us, I mean, we're just constantly calling him, and he's trying to help us, but, and then sometimes he's not there, so if we could just go in and pull a report that we need, that, a lot of times we could save a lot of people from having to,
I don't think we can do any action on that because it's not on the agenda, but that is a good report to have that information, and so we do need to address that.
I can get I had asked LGS for a contract for that $100 a month. You know, she was supposed to be working on that. I'll talk to Lloyd about it this morning. So.
You can bring that whenever.
Okay.
The contract.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other reports?
Make a motion to approve the report.
Thank you. All in favor, aye. Item number 6, burn ban. No action. Wait. Leonard, do you have a report?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
No action on the burn ban. Special road use agreements. Does anyone have them? If not, no action. Item number 8 is to approve bonds and education certificates. We have an education certificate from Lloyd Lane for Commissioners Education Certificate of Completion from the County Judges and Commissioners Association of Texas. Also, one for J.C. Jones, Security and Privacy General Role. Jake Fitch, Juvenile Law and Procedure. We have a motion to accept these.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 9 is the public power pool presentation by David Quinn.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Quinn. I'm the Program Manager for Public Power Pool. We were set up by Texas County in 2002 to negotiate lower electricity prices and better contract terms by leveraging the size of the group to get close to wholesale pricing. You'll be with us since 2015. There's a blue folder there with the presentation on the right-hand side. If you flip to page 2, you can see the current membership list. There's 99 members, 46 Texas counties are in the group, including a lot of your neighbors. I think our record speaks for itself. We saved members $205 million against market since the program began. That is comparing the contracted price that we negotiated in 9 contracts so far to the market settling price every day since the program began in 2002. The important number here is for Freestone County, you saved $100,000 against market since you joined in 2015. And again, that's using the same methodology, comparing the price that you've been locked in at through the P3 contracts to the market price for electricity since day one. Now, the PUC has its calculated savings differently. And page 5, there's something called House Bill 3693 report. This is using the PUC's methodology to calculate savings, and they show that you'll save $34,625 just in 2023 from being part of this program compared to what you will pay in the open market. So I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about our upcoming procurements. We are going back out to the marketplace. The current contract expires at the end of this year. When we do a procurement, we send out our RFP to every registered retail electric provider in the state. We're not trying to steer business to any one preferred provider. We're not taking commission from any provider. We want to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to bid on this contract because we think that the best deal is going to be from full competition.
Is there really 140 medical providers in the state?
There are 150.
150?
Last time we looked at the PUC, registered by the PUC. Now, probably 20 to 30 of those would have the ability to service this load, that have the size and the credit rating and the back office support that we look for to be able to manage 3,500 accounts. But yeah, last time we looked, there were about 150.
And those are not producers, those are people that purchase and resell?
That's right, retail. Yeah, we're not talking about the generation, we're talking about the actual retail. Yeah. So every single one of those will get an invitation to bid on this procurement. Now that said, frankly, we're going to hear back from probably 20 to 30 maybe, and then we're going to go through a series of contract negotiations with the ones that pass our credit rating requirements and have experience handling a large contract like this. And it's all the big names, the ones you'd recognize: Reliant, TXU, Suez, JEXA, MD2, Direct, Cavallo, Champion, go down the list. But we have relationships with a lot of these retailers from past procurements. Now, out of 9 contracts, we have awarded to 11 different retailers over the history of the program. So it shows that we're not trying to go back to any one preferred provider. So we will be filtering these. We'll be making sure that they all pass our examination, our scrutiny. Ultimately, we'll take a long list to the P3 board of recommended retailers and have them decide which should be on the short list. And the P3 board comprises judges and commissioners. So they will ultimately make the decision, then we'll go into the marketplace, seek indicative pricing, several rounds of indicative pricing to make sure that their pricing models are sharp, to make sure they're familiar with the load. We'll compare those indicative prices to each other and then identify the best, and then we will go back to those and seek an executable price so we can lock in. Now, the product structure we're looking at this time is a little bit different to the last few contracts. Most of our contracts have been fixed price contracts. So in other words, we would negotiate one single price on day one that will be in effect for the duration of the contract. And you're currently paying 5.74 cents under the current 3-year contract that was negotiated back in 2020. That 5.74 cents was locked on day one, so that's what you paid over the duration of the 3-year contract. That gives you budget stability and makes sure that you're not going to see any pricing variations over the duration of the contract. What we're proposing this time, because of the fluctuation and volatility in the energy markets, is that we purchase each year incrementally. So we'll be going out for a new contract beginning in 2026. And we will seek a price for 2026. We're identifying a ceiling price that we cannot bust. If we go above that ceiling, we can't do a procurement. So we're looking for a price underneath the ceiling, hopefully lower than the ceiling. If we're able to get that, then we're going to lock in that year. And then for each subsequent year, we would follow the same procedure, the same methodology to lock in a price in the hope that prices over time will come down. If they do, we'll be able to ride the market down, drop those ceilings, and make sure that you're getting the best rate available. So that's the methodology we're looking at this time. And if you take a look here at
Ceiling price is 6. That would be it, right?
We're looking at pricing right now that is up between 6 and 7 cents per kilowatt hour for the first few years, for 2026 and 2027. It's a backwardated market. The first couple of years are priced higher right now than the subsequent years. If you take a look, there's a page here which is effectively page number 10. It's not numbered, but it's the one for 11, sorry about that. That is the current price of forward curve for North Central Texas. And you can see there that 2026 is priced about 6.7 cents. Same with 2027, just a tad higher, and then it drops off for 2028 through 2035, you're looking at lower pricing. So the biggest challenge that we have right now is winning a rate for the first couple of years, 2026 and 2027. And that's why, part of the reason why we are treating each year separately and have an incremental purchasing strategy that will enable us to ride that market down. Now, we do think that the fundamentals that are keeping that price high in the first couple of years could change. There's a lot of nervousness right now about the grid that hasn't really played out. We've seen cold weather, we've seen hot weather over the past year or so without any kind of stress on the grid. So that should be going away. That should be changing that floor pricing code. It hasn't happened yet. But we think that as we go through the procurements, we may see this price drop down in our favor. We'll be able to lock in a lower price. What we anticipate doing is on page 12, this identifies what those ceiling rates will be for each of those years that we handle. And you can see there we're setting a ceiling rate for 2026 in that first orange column of 7.16 cents. That's the very maximum that we will be authorized to procure at if you're part of this procurement. What we're aiming for is that 6.3 cents to the left of that, which is the expected rate. That's what we think we'll be able to do. That's what we think we'll be able to achieve. In the past, we have always come in at or below our target rates. So the expected rate is what we think is going to happen. The ceiling rate just gives us a little bit of wiggle room in case markets turn against us over the coming weeks.
What data are y'all looking at to see this substantial drop in price between now and 2035?
Market pricing, what is available in the market today, like the...
So you're looking at plants being built to,
This
you have something that, I mean, you're talking about 50%.
Substantial.
Yeah.
Just wonder what changes.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
so this pricing curve here is basically premised on the fact that, you know, we are seeing a lot of projections of increased demand. The data centers, the Bitcoin miners, the infrastructure is going in, people plugging in their Teslas, that kind of thing. It's going to jack up demand significantly over the coming years. Now, we think there's going to be a lot of new resources coming on, a lot of new generation coming on. We're seeing, you know, more gas come on. We're also seeing a lot more solar. And in addition to that, we're seeing a lot of battery backup. And battery backup is a big player, is a big factor, because if you keep that energy, store it for a little while, and then put it on the grid when it's needed, then ultimately that helps it. So we're also going to see a lot of, you know, when it comes to the data mining and the data centers, there's a lot of proposals out there right now to roll out what's known as dispatchable nuclear, which is safer than the old uranium rod, water-cooled nuclear. It is sand-cooled, if I understand it correctly, and it's easier to activate and mobilize and locate close to those centers that are needing the power. So that's going to have a significant effect. That's part of the reason why over time this pricing curve drops down. It's because we think the resources are out there. Now, this is not our opinion. This is actually what pricing is available if we were in the marketplace today. If we were to go out to Freestone County today and look at the prices available for each of those years, that's what we think we'd get. So that's what's informing our ceiling prices there. And again, I'd like to point out that in the past we have come in at our expected rates. Now you see there that for the first 3 years, our ceiling rate is a little bit higher than the expected rates, but given the shape of that curve, we are dropping our ceiling rates down in 2029 to our expected rates. And this means that if we're able to get that ceiling and expected rate in 2029, that's a good deal for the county. And we will track that down over time. But the first couple of years is when we need that cushion, because there is a lot of volatility in the marketplace right now.
You build data centers faster than you build power plants.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why the nuclear new nuclear technologies coming out that could be located quickly and conveniently for the location of those plants. Because we anticipate going through the summer with this procurement, and we would like to get the deal done as quickly as possible, but obviously it's going to be based on what the market supports, or what pricing is actually available. So we could be going into mid to late summer on this. And I understand that you'll have budgets for FY26 coming up, 27, sorry. But we will basically give you budget projections based on our ceiling rates, with the understanding that that would be the very most you would have to budget. What we're looking at there, if you take a look at that 2026 price, that will be a 12.4% increase at our ceiling compared to what you're currently paying. The further out we go, the greater the saving over time. If you're going into 2029, then you will see a 6.3% reduction compared to what you're paying right now. So we think that the procurement strategy that we have here is flexible. It gives us the ability to be able to turn on the dime in the changing market if we need to. But ultimately, the goal of the program is to give you budget stability and prevent any kind of explosion to upside risk. And that's always been the motivating factor of public power board, is to limit any risk exposure for political subdivisions.
Can the individual get on this?
And he
I'm not sure
break out
what
to
you're
the
looking at.
T&D costs that we're paying? That's what's
That's
eating us up right now.
That would be nice. I mean, your delivery costs for Freestone County is about 50%, 51% of what you're paying in your bills is delivery. We have no control of that. We can't touch that.
How many employees do y'all have? How many employees do y'all have?
We have one executive director who's also the executive director of the Comm suburban counties. Myself, a program administrator who handles any kind of nuts and bolts, billing issues, adds and deletes. And then we have 2 energy consultants that actually go out and purchase from the desks.
Not a huge staff.
5 FTEs. Our aggregation fee is 99 cents per megawatt hour. It's the only fee you pay to us. We don't charge anything else. We're not taking any commission from the retailers. We've compared our aggregation fee to what brokers charge, and normally brokers are charging $3 to $5 per megawatt hour. So it's a significant saving, again, because you're combining your load with that of 99 other political subdivisions. That really drives down the operational cost. I'm happy to answer any questions. Any more questions? We're not seeking, like I said, we're not seeking any action. We do operate under an opt-out principle, so if you want to stay with the group, no action is necessary. Under the membership agreement that you all signed when you joined P3 in 2015, you continue on until such time as you decide that we're not ready.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
I got one. Is Honorable Clay Lewis Jenkins, see, he's on y'all's board, is he
Yes.
still a judge in Dallas County?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Yeah. We have had, we have,
Still a Democrat, too.
we have
I just wonder if he's still.
Dallas County.
So you
Yeah,
think really the 1 year is the way to go,
No.
and not signing up for 3?
No, I think
Because of the,
right now what this does is it gives us really,
Decline.
we have to procure the first 2 years. We have to procure 2026 and 2027.
yeah,
When we go out to the marketplace, we're going to see pricing for everything up to 10 years. And we're going to price each of those years individually and make a recommendation to our technical committee and to the board about what kind of contract term length we should have. If you'd asked me the same question 6 months ago, I would have said that based on current market pricing, you probably want to go long, 5 to 7 years. And I think a lot of members have been telling us, we only doing this every 10 years. We want to actually lock us in for a good price as long as possible and give us that security. So we hear that, but we also want to make sure that whatever price we lock you into is going to be the best price.
So wouldn't we lock in a 12.4% increase this year?
No.
Not for 3 years, if we're gonna do it for one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, makes sense to split it up year by year.
Yeah, yeah, so it gives us that flexibility. What we would do is, as we go through the contract, we would have a 12-month window before the end of the current year to do a deal for the next year. So it just keeps us on our toes and makes sure that we're in tune with what market options are available at the time.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate the opportunity to present. My card is in the folder if you have any questions or if you need more information.
I don't think so.
Great, thank you.
There'll be a significant increase on our budget this time. Probably, we'll probably estimate 15% increase. All right, item number 10 is Techstar Food.
He was here the last meeting that we had, so he did his presentation. The only thing that he's done is just follow up with a summary of what he talked about and a form for us to fill out, just to kind of get on board with them, but not pull the trigger yet, so.
I see it's already in the investment policy that we're gonna use them, so we wouldn't.
Well, you have to have it on the investment policy if you want the opportunity, so just to have it as an option, you don't have to move forward with it, but I just told him we were gonna wait until we were done with
But
it.
if we did approve it, we'd want it to be on the investment policy.
Correct.
It's already on there. That's what I'm saying. Any discussion about the Techstar pool?
Can you have both?
No.
Can you have textbook and them?
I
You
thought-
can have them on there, but you can only use one at a time.
Oh, really?
Can you move from one to the other when you want?
Okay, so here's the thing with that, okay, so we have probably 10 accounts or more that are text pool, okay, because we have general fund, and we have some road commissioners that are text pool. We have art text pool right now, which that's like five different text pools. Okay, so if we have another text pool, I'm talking about the accounting on it, keeping those straight, because everything has to balance. You know, when we balance every month, we have to balance our books, what we say text pool is to what text pool is. So if you bring in another pool, okay, so it's just, it would be more, a lot of work, more confused, you know, try to keep it all straight. Because you've got a lot of different account numbers, lots of different account numbers. You can do it, but I'm not sure what the reason would be, because the interest rates are about the same. They're like, one day one's like 1/10 of a point, the next day the other one. So there wouldn't be a reason why we would want to use both of them. The only reason I would say if you wanted to change or you wanted to look at one versus the other, to me would be customer service. Our current, I've been here since 2016 and I don't know if I've ever seen him or her or, you know, but I mean, I think that's important if, you know, somebody that really wants our business and all that, that's something to look at. But I wouldn't say that we should be using them all because we don't gain anything from it.
We do have the Texas Class Investment Pool. We approved it, but we've never used it.
Right.
So is that what you're asking, for it to be approved in case we ever wanted to use it? Is that what we're saying?
Just to leave it as an opportunity.
We wouldn't use both, we would, or even all three, we would just use one.
But we want to consider putting that language into this investment policy so that it's clear for anyone else in the future.
would be
to
a
use
good
only
idea.
one, never two at one time,
Yes.
but it doesn't
It doesn't
state
say
that
that
in
in here.
Right. So I think.
We
that
just
would be-
always not done
Done
it.
it.
Even
That's
though
what-
we've had these options in there, we've not used them.
Right.
Yes.
As far as that goes on the investment policy, I would like to table until we find out on page 8. Something I think we want to make sure that there's not some language missing on the third bullet point, second line. I think where it says must furnish, you think there's language missing?
You know, I read right over that. Now that I'm reading it better, what am I supposed to
I mean,
furnish?
something, and this was in our previous policy, so it could be a typo, but it's not nothing that was just done.
We can look at some old ones and see what kind of language we had in there. I did. You did? Was it some?
Same thing.
Last time it was approved just like this.
I mean, in years past.
Well, I did look
Well,
back.
we don't even have to do that. What do we want them to provide? We'll look at that.
Motion to table.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. All right. Item number 12. Item number 11, we talked about two together, so we want to table both of those, 10 and 11, we were on 10, talking about the tax.
Oh, I thought we had finished. No, I just thought there was no action on it. Do we need any action on the text document?
I mean, we can bring it back up whenever we adopt the policy about approving the text star and the policy.
We can have that all under the investment policy for the next time. So it's no action on the tax school, but we will, talk about it on the table investment policy. All right, number 12, Windstream agreement discussion.
Last Commissioner's Court, I was going to have Michael Moore in here to present some changes to the agreement. In this time lapse between then and now, I've been notified that what he had sent me was incorrect, so it's going to be changed again. It was just the way they had it structured. I have yet to see that agreement. Actually, I was on the phone with him a minute ago in the court. And I expect to have it on my email probably when I get out of Commissioner's Court. He said he was going to look for it and send it to me. And so it's nothing that's going to hold up the Windstream deal. It's not, it shouldn't hold up our schedule, what we're doing. It's just, it's on these fax lines is what it's about.
Is it going to change the price?
The price, there will be, and that's why I wanted him to come in and present to you guys what he's doing. Because it was what he had given me, the original agreement that I was presenting last time, had a change in it for another circuit so that they could add these lines on there. There was a billing on there. I said, I can't, it's good. Myself going there and ask commissioners to support this. You need to come in and explain what you're doing and why to the court. So I guess right now I need to see this new agreement, see if those changes got modified out of the new agreement, which I'm waiting to see. either way, I still want them to come in and talk to the board, to explain why we've had so many issues. This is I think number 9, number 10 change now, okay, since we started this process. And I just want you guys to be able to hear from him and challenge what's going on, because I'm just kind of a monkey in the middle on this stuff. So we can table it, I believe, next Commissioner's Court. By then, I mean, I should have that agreement in hand so I can see what's going on.
See if he can be here.
And see if I can get him in here. It's 2 weeks advance for him to get in here. I mean, I talked to him a minute ago. That's the first time I talked to him since previous court. He said he had a brother died. He had another brother had a open heart surgery or something. It's always some excuse. So.
All right, do we have a motion to table? Do we have a second? All in favor, aye? Motion carries. Item number 13, do we have a motion to table? They did not have their information.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor, aye. Then we'll go to item number 15 to discuss dispatch.
We had a meeting in here evening before last. Monday. Sheriff, Leonard, Dane, myself, Andy, basically just talking about trying to get Dane the answer to the question for the E-Force and LGS people, who's in charge of dispatch for a lot of this training and stuff like that. We look back at a motion we made a motion to create a board. Per that motion, it was pretty broad. So we did create the board. The board created. The board has its own set of bylaws. At this time, the sheriff is the one that carries the commission, license, ORI, whatever. So as of right now, the way we see it, the sheriff is in charge of dispatch. I would like to see the board stay in place as basically as something for almost as a grievance board / mediation. Somebody that if somebody doesn't feel comfortable going to the, what's your lead dispatcher called? Lieutenant dispatcher or the sheriff, they can go to the board. If it's a fireman, if it's somebody from the public, whatever, they can still go directly to the sheriff if they want to, but the board is there. And I think it provides transparency for any issues that we have, not only that they're getting addressed, how they were addressed, and how successful. If the sheriff had to discipline one of his employees, we would know that, and we would know if it worked or not, or if it happens again. But it just provides transparency on both sides, I think.
I have some questions about the board. I was told by a very good law enforcement person that works in multiple counties, and he said the board that in Limestone County was not working, and it was, in his opinion, it was the worst thing they ever did. My second question is, how often has the board met? When is the last meeting and where are the minutes? I haven't seen any of those in here anywhere.
December?
Sir?
December?
So December was the last board meeting. January, February, March, April, that's 4 months and we ain't even had a board meeting. Because why can't you get board members here? Why won't they show up?
The last meeting we had was, or scheduled, the shooting happened here in Fairfield. All the officers that were available that day to be at the meeting.
How many officers on the board?
There are 6 officers on the board.
So why would we need 6 officers on the board if we got the sheriff? If the sheriff's running, we got the sheriff and 6 officers. So they on the, and you're telling me they're on the board, right?
Who's that?
The officers.
Correct.
Okay, so we got the sheriff and 6 officers that are at the scene, so, I mean, I'm not in favor of the board at all. That's just my opinion. I think the sheriff should run it. That falls under his jurisdiction. He should run it. He should discipline his employees. I don't want some board telling me how to discipline my employees.
It wasn't gonna be for that.
Sir?
It wasn't gonna be for that.
What's he gonna be for? What's the board for?
The board would be the mediator, a middleman between, if an employee does not feel comfortable, which there is processes in other areas for stuff like that, just like we have agreements for the county itself. But if there's not someone that feels comfortable approaching their boss or the sheriff, that gives them a different avenue to address or approach.
Let me just turn that around. Do I want a board, if one of my employees is not, do they want to go talk to a board instead of coming to me? I'm supposed to be the one running the department. Not a board, me. I'm responsible. The sheriff is responsible. Not a board. They're not responsible for anything. That's just my opinion, and that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
I think what I just said earlier, the board wouldn't have any authority
So why we have a board if they don't have an authority?
for transparency.
I'm sorry, it falls under the sheriff, and it's under his responsibilities, and he should be able to take care of that. If he doesn't, then people should go to him with their problem. Now, if there's a problem with an employee, they can also go to the sheriff and say, hey, I want to go before the commissioner's court, and we can have a meeting on personnel, the executive meeting, closed meeting on personnel issues. Anytime we can do that. We don't need a board to tell us what to do. That's just my opinion. So if we have a board,
You already have a board.
no, if we keep a board, then are they gonna be able to tell the sheriff who to hire and who to fire and what kind of disciplinary action go to have? Really? What's the board for? Hear complaints?
Yes,
I hear complaints.
I do too all the time.
So do you won't need a board to run your office because you get complaints? I'm through.
If there is nothing else, then we will go to item number 16, purchase a maintenance agreement with Xerox for JP3 printer. And you said that this would, if we bought the printer, then we would have a maintenance fee, but it's a very small fee.
Very small.
And she wants to keep the printer that she's got because it works very well.
Yes, I talked to Cinnamon and she wants to keep it. She says she has no problems. They will come and still maintenance it just like they do our courthouse ones and everything for a very small fee, and $895 I think is, we purchase it outright, and so we don't have a lease anymore. We own the copy machine.
No leasing would just be paying a small maintenance fee.
Yes.
Do we have a motion to purchase
I'll make that motion.
Second.
the maintenance agreement?
And there's a $12.95 with it too.
Okay. Let me take it home.
Yeah, I do.
And this is the purchase price. On our agenda, it just said, well, it's supposed to be purchase, not the maintenance agreement only, but the purchase of it and to approve the maintenance agreement.
Yes.
The purchase is $878, the maintenance agreement is $11 a month, plus,
However many copies they
so
make.
many copies. You get so many free, and then, well, maybe not, maybe it's all of the copies. It's
Right, we pay about $30.
0.01 per print rate for black and white.
And we pay what?
0.08 for color impressions. Do we have a motion to approve this?
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Number 17. Discuss the funding agreement between Texas Historical Commission and Freestone County for the Round 13 Historical Courthouse Preservation Program grant. There is a copy of the funding agreement in your packet. And number 18 is to discuss the grant of easement. There's also a copy of all of that. Now, we just got this the end of last week. And so, we've not had enough time to look at it. We sent a copy to the architect for him to review and to then visit with us about this. And also talk to Brian a little bit about this. What I had originally thought is going to be a little different. They're going to, once we do sign this, we will go out for bids. When we do get those bids, then we will go back to them with the amount of what they have said that they will pay and what the actual contract is. It's going to be a lot different, I know, because from the year plus that we've been working on that, the prices have gone up a lot. But there is room for adjustment, and we can go back and ask for more money if we need it. And so that will be a discussion that the architect will have with us when he comes, but I'm just giving you a little heads up on that. The easement, it's not an easement that they can come and take over the courthouse or the courthouse square, but it's an interest and easement for conservation and preservation, which means if we have any maintenance that we need to do after this is completed, we have to have it approved through them. Any changes that we want to make in the courthouse, we would have to have that approved if there were going to be any changes. But that's what the easement means. It's not an easement for them to come in and use it for any other purpose. I mean, they can come in and take pictures just like anybody else can, any of that, but it's the maintenance and repair and if there are any changes. And when we talk about maintenance and repair, if somebody in the courthouse wants to paint a room, we have to notify them because they look at the paint. It's not just straight paint like you buy at the store. It has to be a certain mixture that goes on everything that's the most historical that they can find and can do. They can mix so that's when you see easement, it's not an easement for the use, it's for the maintenance and repairs. Now, the architect is reviewing these, and after he's reviewed it, he will come and talk to us about these and explain more things about the actual contract itself. And y'all have a copy that y'all can read, and then we'll have questions, and we'll work through that.
The one question that I would like for somebody to answer when we get into this, we're gonna get X number of dollars from the grant, whatever. I wanna know what the final cost is gonna be, because it appears from other courthouses in the bill, there's a whole lot of money on the other end of it that you have to pay, that the county has to pay. A large amount.
On some there have been.
Ma'am?
On some there have been. There was on Navarre County.
And do you know what the figure was for Bear County?
I don't know, but it was a large amount.
Yes, ma'am.
And the reason was they ended up having to move the elevator because it was not in a place that they would approve. And that was, they went back to the Texas Historical Commission and talked to them about what was happening, and they gave them more money for that.
Is our elevator where it's supposed to be?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I mean, did it have an elevator back when it was built?
No, it got put in the days.
Okay. Because we're probably gonna have to move it somewhere else.
Well, maybe
I'm just wondering.
attach it on the outside.
If you just look at it, the hell courthouse has been built, they get a certain amount, and then the county has to come up with the money at the end, and that's a large amount of money.
Anything is possible. But we won't know that until we go through this. And hopefully the architect will ask those questions and be able to give us better answers. So you have these, and I'd like to table both of those, and y'all will have an opportunity to review those and make whatever comments and ask any questions that you would like to whenever they come back to talk to us about it. Hopefully hopefully he'll be prepared to give you a good answer on that. All right. Do we have a motion to table number 17?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Do we have a motion to table number 18?
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Number 19 is the resolution for the County Government Month. April is County Government Month. What kind of program would y'all like to put on? Would we want to do anything special other than what we normally do? Whereas Texas counties provide a variety of essential services for the protection and betterment of local counties, communities. Whereas these important services include defense against crime, frontline emergency response to natural disasters like hurricanes and wildfires, the safety and maintenance of roads and bridges, assistance to senior citizens and youth, public records management, quality of life services such as libraries and a host of other beneficial community endeavors. Whereas Texas 254 counties are a vital arm of government that is the closest to the people. Whereas county government is composed of dedicated, elected, and appointed officials as well as hardworking employees. Whereas county government provides a voice to its local citizens, innovative solutions to community needs and problems, and cost-effective results that save local taxpayer money. Now therefore be it resolved that April 2025 is proclaimed as County Government Month in recognition of the leadership, innovation, and valuable services provided by county government. Do we have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Now, oftentimes, counties will have some type of a celebration in April. So be thinking about that. Know this next week, if we're gonna do something, we need to make a plan and try to get something in place. All right. Any comments from Commissioners Court members?
I have one. Leonard, can you tell me what the status of my bridge is out there? I hadn't heard from you or the people that were looking into that. You know, have you heard
I
anything?
haven't been able to get a hold of, or get an answer.
Sir?
I haven't been able to get an answer from them. We're supposed to have a meeting
So
today.
the bridge is complete. I mean, it's up there. So if I'm not gonna get any money back, that's fine. I just need to know what I need to do in order to either get that going or to just drop it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's.
We're supposed to have a meeting today at 1. We got to do PDMG over the grant process again.
I don't know what that means.
It's just a project development manager.
Okay.
So we're supposed to have a meeting today at 1. I can ask for clarification to see if because originally it was done, but then they came back and inspected and said it wasn't going to work. That's why you had to go with the further repairs on. You're talking about 971, right?
971, yes, sir.
Yeah. So, being had to do some additional repairs after it was already done, I'm gonna relay that to them and see if there's something we can do. Either add that additional cost back into it, open it back up as not being 100%, and get the rest of that documentation put in.
Okay, is there any other things I need to do on my FEMA stuff that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I got some work for federal building today, so my comment is you can take my spot in that FEMA meeting at 1 p.m.
I got to go work on what I'm supposed to do, being a county commissioner, keeping the roads straight, the bridges straight, and the potholes fixed. I don't have time for that, but you can appoint somebody.
Any other comments?
Aren't we supposed to put hot dogs on the square?
Do what?
Possibly? Child protective service?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to have hot dogs?
It's supposed to be on Friday, but the weather's supposed to be so bad, we moved it until, next Friday, the 11th.
Y'all change it on the radio station?
Yeah, I changed it yesterday on the radio and both newspapers,
Okay.
And that's next Friday.
next Friday.
They take donation?
Mhm.
All right, man. Good deal.
Anything else? If not, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it motion.
Thank you, Eddie.
Second.